Come on in, everyone. Come on in, because we are here reviewing the interview that Little Black Book did with Lamar from Ready to Love. You know, he got booted last week. We were all happy he got booted. And then Kojo come on here and torture us one more time with this interview. I was like, where the hell are we in Mars? Lamar from Mars. That's what I'm going to start calling him, Lamar from Mars. Because that gibberish he was talking, y'all, that was not English. It was not English. It was some type of foreign alien language, and it had to be from Mars. There were a few English phrases up in there, but the majority of it was gibberish. Even Kojo couldn't keep a straight face. He couldn't even keep a straight face. But once again, y'all, here we are doing an after interview for someone in complete denial. Where are they getting all these people from? And it ain't just the men. I know everybody wanted to talk about the men. They wanted to talk about the men. But there have been two men. No, there have been, how many men eliminated? Lamar, Dominique got eliminated. And then two women, April and Patricia. We 0 for 4. And when I say we 0 for 4, we're 0 for 4 for self-awareness. We're 0 for 4 for self-reflection. We're 0 for 4. None of these people have the ability whatsoever to see anything that they've done wrong, how they could do anything differently in their dating life, how they could possibly be turning off a lot of people. Nope. Everybody gets on here, y'all, and does the same song and dance. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm good the way I am. The problem is everybody else, and I'm just going to double down on this behavior. Where do they get these people? Where are they getting these people from? I know where they're getting them from. They're definitely getting them from a place where there are no mirrors in the room. No mirrors. There can't be any mirrors, or all the mirrors are cracked. They can't see themselves. I know they're also getting them from a place called the House of Denial. House of Denial. They won't want to hear anyone. We, the audience of Ready to Love this season, cannot be the only people telling these people this. These people are 30, 40 years old. You think we the first person to ever tell them this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not the first. That means they have been thinking this, believing this, going throughout their life doing this. And although they haven't had the success they should want, obviously they haven't had the success they should want in their dating life, because they wouldn't be here on Ready to Love. Even though they haven't had the success they like, they come on Ready to Love, do the same old thing. When we tell them about themselves and say, hey, I think you ought to do something a little different, they say, to hell with you, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Lamar said he's going to keep doing what he's doing, y'all. He's going to keep offending you ladies. He's going to keep talking about sex, because in his book, it works. He's been married twice. He's gotten 2 women to marry him with this act. In fact, he told us it used to be worse. So in the Pittsburgh, like, it used to be worse, and I already done married 2 women. We're going to talk about that, because the majority of the time, I'm not going to be going over all this Mars language on this Kojo Little Black Book, because honest with you, I didn't understand half this shit. I can't recap an interview in which I didn't understand half of it, because I don't speak Mars. What I did hear from Lamar was that he grew up poor. He told us that over and over again. He grew up poor. He said he went to 14 schools. You go to 14 schools, you can't learn nothing. 14 schools? He said he went to 14 different schools. His mama moved around a lot. He was poor, so I guess his mama had to move from house to house. He loves his mama. His mama did the best she could. But he said he grew up poor, and he was an only child. He grew up poor, and he was like Celie from The Color Purple. I have to fight for my life. I got to fight for my life. No wonder he got a lot of fight in him now, because according to Lamar, he grew up fighting. He said he grew up fighting on the bus stop. He grew up fighting everybody, because when you all alone and you only child and you go to 14 different schools, you got to fight for your life. He's also coming with this Mars story where, you know, he's real social and he knows how to fit in everywhere and he knows how to read a room. Denial. Where are the mirrors? Where are the mirrors? Lamar's story is that because he had to move around a lot, he had to learn how to make friends fast. He had to learn how to fit in. So he knows he's real social. He knows how to fit in. He knows how to read a room. Well, we saw on Radio Love, he don't know how to do either. He does not know how to fit in. He's a rebel. And he does not know how to read a room, because he sat on this interview and talked about how Maya liked him. Maya, y'all, He thought Maya liked him, that Maya really accepted him. I told y'all Maya was doing a good job. I said when Maya was sitting there talking to William, you know, William with the hips, William with the childbearing hips, she was making William think that he had a shot at her, and she ain't got no shot. Maya has this way of not liking you, but not making you feel bad about yourself, and that's good. It worked for Lamar, because in Lamar's book, Maya likes him. He said, well, I'll admit she may not like me romantically, but she likes me as a person. Nope, she don't like you either way. No, Lamar, you don't know how to read a room. Maya don't like you as a person, nor does she like you as a romantic interest. 0, 0, 0. But one thing about Lamar is if you don't go along with him, he gonna bite your head off. That's where the mean Lamar comes out. I will say this about Lamar. I picked up on his love languages. His love languages are touch. That's why he talks all this sex talk. He always wants to be around you. He wants to touch you. He wants to squeeze you. I believe that's one of the techniques he uses to get women. Because like I said, we're going to talk about why women would marry Lamar. He uses touch. He uses that to rope a lot of women in who that might also be their love language and who are craving that intimacy connection with a man. He also, I believe in a weird sort of Mars way, in a Mars language kind of way, I believe that his love language is words of affirmation. He says he's a coach. He's a motivational coach. He likes to motivate the children. I don't know. Lamar's the type of person that ended sleepovers. Woo! Remember these young generation, y'all couldn't have no sleepovers. My time growing up, we could have sleepovers. But Lamar is the type of man that ended sleepovers. Can't none of our kids, nobody's kids, sleep over nowhere no more because of the people like Lamar. Lamar might be over there. You can't sleep over there. But I do believe Mars, I don't call the man Mars. I do believe Lamar's love language, one of them is words of affirmation. But here's the trick. Here is the trick, lady. If you do not respond appropriately to his words, right, and his physical touch, then you get the other Lamar that will scream and yell and cuss you the hell out. You see, Lamar wants to be loved. He wants to be touched. He wants you to accept him. He wants you to be with him. But the minute you reject any part of him, you're going to reap the wrath of Lamar. You see, that's what his whole life has been. He hasn't been accepted anywhere he's gone. He's moved around to 14 schools. He didn't have any sisters or brothers, any cousins to take up for him. He wants to be accepted. He does want to belong. But the bait he's using is this sex language and all this other kind of stuff. It really doesn't draw people onto him. It doesn't at all. But he believes it's the best thing he has since sliced bread. That this is his bait that's going to get you to come to him, to love him, to want to be with him, and to speak his love language of positive affirmations and gentle touch. So he uses this thing to lure you in. But guess what? Nobody likes his lure. No one likes his bait. It stinks. It stinks. Nobody wants it. So you reject him. You push him away. And the next thing he does is he puts you down and cusses you out with that sharp tongue. That sharp tongue, that fight back that he has honed over the years because he's lived in 14 places. He didn't have any sisters or brothers. He was fighting on the bus stop. And now we have Lamar's here at 42 years old doing the same old thing over and over again in his life. But instead of him looking at, hey, maybe you're creating the very rejection you don't really want. Because see, Lamar, I figured out, he don't really want rejection. He wants to be accepted. But he creates the very rejection that he then is upset about. But instead of changing what he does, he doubles down on it. Because in changing, that would mean he'd have to admit that something might not be right with him. And that would mean you rejected him. This is what I keep talking about in all my videos, that people cannot take constructive criticism. People cannot take advice to them so that they can be better. So they block out the advice. They keep doing what the hell they want to do. And even though they're doing the same thing over and over again and it's not producing the results, then they mad at all of us because we pushing them away. This is the story of Ready to Love this season. A bunch of people in denial, a bunch of people with bad dating habits, And the minute you try to tell them something about their bad dating habits, they come back, snap at you, bite at you, and tell you the problem, they not the problem. Lamar is just number 4. He ain't the first. Like I said, we've already kicked off 3 people. We own a number 4. And right now, y'all, it is not even discriminating between men and women. I know everybody tried to say it was the men that were dusty, but let me tell you, There is no discrimination going on this season between the men and the women because they all falling like rocks, all of them. Hopefully we got one or two standing. That's all we really need. I really only need one good couple at the end of the season. I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied because like I told y'all, I know how to settle. I know how to settle. I don't need 10 out of 10. I just need one good couple at the end of the season because like y'all said, I'm going to pick Misha and I like to settle. So you're right. I'm going to settle and all I want is one. One good couple. That's it. I've lowered my standards. Lamar said he's been married twice, y'all. First time he got married really close out of college. He said that's what you do when you get out of college. You get married, you settle down, and you're supposed to have a family. That's what he said, which tells me he does have this marrying mindset. That's why he's been married twice. He just can't keep the wheels on. He can't keep the wheels on the train. It falls apart. It falls apart. Now, if Mars was a woman, he probably would never get no proposals. Never, never, never get no proposals. If Lamar's, how to call the man Mars again. If Lamar was a woman, no man would ever propose to her, which is Lamar. Not at all. But because Lamar is a man and he has the ability to actually go out and actually propose to women, my question then is, why have two women said yes to Lamar? Because Lamar has confessed that this is how he's always been. Lamar has confessed that even when he got married to these last two women, he was even worse. So my question now is not to put down the women that married him, but to look at possibly why these women were attracted to him. Because what I want to do going forward is I want women to say no to Lamar. They need to say no to Lamar. Because the reason why Lamar can keep doing what he's doing is because it's getting him somewhere. It may not work on every single woman, but every 10th woman, every 20th woman, every 30th woman, Lamar strikes gold. He gets a yes. Because let me tell you, if he were getting no's all the time and every woman would cut him off from sex and every woman would cut him off from this love he wants and this attention he wants and these love languages of positive affirmations and, gentle touch, he would have to change. He would have to change. I want ladies to go on strike with Lamar. I want ladies to stop saying yes to Lamar. But in order to get women to stop saying yes to Lamar, we got to figure out why women are even saying yes. And I'm going to tell you what I think. You want to know why I think there are some women that say yes to Lamar? Because I'm going to tell you, it's a couple of things. One is Lamar is 42 years old. Lamar's not an ugly man. He's not. I know he's hiding his face behind that beard. Some women even like the beard. Some women love that long beard. They like to play in it. They love all that. That could be attractive to a lot of people. Even if he shaved the beard, I don't see a man in Lamar on the outside that is so physically repelling, right? So first of all, he's got a decent appearance. Let's just go with that. Whether you think Lamar is fine or whether you think he's okay, whether you think he's a 4 or a 5, he's decent. Got it. Okay. He seems to be decent in the looks category. The second thing about Lamar is that Lamar's from Mars. Like I said, his love language is the love language that typically is also the love language of women. Remember, I've been talking about this love language, and women have a couple of love languages that a lot of times women, they like some of these things, which are words of affirmation. That's the candy to the ears. It's the candy to the ears. And I believe Lamar from Mars also has a little bit of a pimp language. And let me tell you, even though he always talks about sex or sexual connotations or things in a sexual manner, to a lot of women who don't get that affirmation that they're sexy, that they look good, that they're attractive, that could draw them onto Lamar. Imagine you're a woman that never gets a man who wants to touch you or squeeze on you or tells you that you're good looking, that he wants to kiss your lips and that he wants to grab you and hold you. Imagine if you're a woman that doesn't hear that a lot. When a Lamar comes around for it, it can feel good to you. It can feel good to you. So you may start to overlook all these other things about Lamar, because what he's doing is he's hitting that spot of yours that you really, really want. And that is he's filling you up with words of affirmation. He's filling you up with wanting to touch you, squeeze you, physical contact. Now, as long as you receive that from him, he's going to keep doing it. Lamar is going to be fine. As long as you receive what he's dishing, he's going to be fine. So if you don't like it and you push back on him, that's really the only time you're going to get this mean Lamar. That's when you're going to get the mean Lamar. So imagine a woman who loves these words. Imagine a woman who is craving physical affection. Imagine a woman who is craving a man to come and tell her, oh girl, you look good, then she's not going to reject the words of Lamar, because she's going to like the way she's going to like what she's hearing, and she's going to like the way it feels. So she's going to stay in the game with Lamar. Let's add on another layer to Lamar. Lamar doesn't have any kids. None. Zero. Zip. He's a 42-year-old man out here with no children. We already saw on Ready to Love how these women pounced on men with no children. Women with children want men without children. That's a phenomenon out here now, that women with children don't even want men with children. They too want men without any children. It used to be the men who didn't have children wanted women that didn't have children, and we got all over them. But now we're starting to see this new thing out here where women with children don't want men with children, because in the eyes of Mika, they don't want to deal with no baby mama drama. So they may have father drama, they may have connections to baby daddies or husbands, ex-husbands, but they want the man to come unencumbered. So guess what? Lamar is unencumbered. He's got no children. A lot of women might find that attractive. One other thing Lamar mentioned was Lamar is a six-figure man. Lamar says he makes over $100,000. Boom, there it is. So think about all these lists these women got. Remember, I keep telling women about their list and how their list put them in a trick bag sometimes. Wonder what if you're a woman out here that says, I want a man that speaks kindly to me, speaks words of affirmation to me. Check, Lamar. I want a man who, I love physical touch. I love a man who wants to hold me and hug me and want to spend time with me. Check, that's Lamar. I want a six-figure man. Check, that's Lamar. I want a man that doesn't have children. Check, that's Lamar, because maybe they don't want to have children. And honestly, I don't think Lamar wants to have children. I didn't hear him mention it. So check, that's Lamar. So now you got a woman with a list, and guess what? Lamar is checking off some of them boxes. He's checking them off. But they're overlooking all this other stuff because they're so wedded to these check marks over here that they're willing to go after these check marks, but they're willing to overlook all this other stuff for Lamar. And that's why I believe what Lamar got going out here works on some women. So if it's working according to Lamar, why should I change it? Don't fix what's broken. In Lamar's eyes, his shit is working. It may not work for you. It may not work for me. It may not work for the girl over here or the woman over here. But guess what? He don't need all those women to like what he's dishing. And so in his eyes, he can keep doing what he's doing. But the women marry him. They do marry him. They get roped in. But shortly soon thereafter, they realize this is a bad deal. This is a bad deal. And then, as he says, the last wife walked out on him and he was hurt. It was his biggest pain, which is why when April was trying to talk about the ex-wife, he was triggered. He was hurt. He didn't want to bring up that old pain again because that was the woman that really broke his heart. And as he said, he still wants that $25,000 back from that wedding. He said he spent $25,000 on that wedding. He wants that money back. I guess the marriage didn't last long. I guess she didn't figure out. I guess she figured out real soon that this shit ain't worth it and that she don't speak the language of Mars. Lamar said plenty of times in the exit interview, if you like what he says, if you like his words, then you the girl for him. If you're offended by anything that he says, then you must not be the girl for him. That's his motto. His motto is he's going to keep talking, keep doing what he's doing. And if you're offended, you're offended. You're obviously not the woman for him. But if you like what he's dishing, then you're the woman for him. But here's the thing, Lamar, if you're listening to me, let me tell you something. You're getting taken too. You're getting taken too. Because the reason why these women are over here overlooking all these things, which are obviously your red flags, is because they also want something from you. So even in your quest to be loved, to speak words of affirmation, they're really not accepting you for you because they haven't even taken a complete look at you. See, this is what I'm going back to why I tell people about these really hard and fast lists. I'm not saying you can't have criteria. I'm not saying that you can't have standards. But sometimes people are looking at exterior things, esoteric things, things that are not really about the person deep down into the core. I'm telling you, in the end, if you want to have a fruitful and a long marriage, you got to care more about superficial things such as how much money they make. Okay? These things will, yes, they play a part in marriage. Yes, you need money to make a marriage go round. Yes, you need money in order to have a good life. Absolutely, you need all these things. But what some people do is they don't know how to weigh all these things against other things, which are about the character of the person. The character is very, 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 very important. Don't just look at how people treat you. Look at how people treat other people. That's what I say. Lamar says he's a motivational coach. I don't know how. I don't know how he is a motivational coach when the minute you don't disagree with him, he tears you down. He tears you down all the way to the ground. Women need to stay away from Lamar. They really do. We need to put a poster up and we need to say, beware. Beware of this man. Stay away from this man. Don't fall for these tricks that he's doing out here in the streets, because they are not long lasting. They are fleeting. And eventually you will reap the wrath of Lamar, and it won't be pretty. It won't be pretty at all. Anyway, that's it, y'all. I'm also going to be doing a review on Love and Marriage DC. I'm going to leave the link here above my head. Please go ahead and click on the link and watch my review of Love and Marriage DC. Because let me tell you, we got an already love person on Love and Marriage DC, Joy and Clifton. And come watch my review and so I can tell you what I think of how they're doing on the show. That's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.